Live. Hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres, and welcome to the Anyone Can Farm live chat. This is the Thursday night edition, and this is what you've all been waiting for. Thursday night is when we do interviews with other farm-related people, right? And we have a very, very special guest tonight, and I'll be calling. He'll be coming in online here very soon. But I have a few announcements. Today was, just for prosperity's sake, was Thursday, October 27th. I am punctual as usual. I'm getting a lot of comments on the new accommodations here, the new shirt. Isn't that something? Jill got me two of these, and I bet you the people be wearing these all over the country for too long. But this is actually a permanent press Dickies shirt. This is an extra large, if you're wondering, and it comes in battleship gray. All right, is what I have. This is the winter weight. The summer weight's going to be a little bit different, and we haven't quite figured out what color we're going to go with because I haven't, seen what they have. But anyway, um, today was a chicken processing day around here, and we just sent out a bunch of chickens with the customers and then had a bunch of other customers come in. So we're processing 2 days this week. Next week, we will not be processing because next week we have the Homestead Hog Harvest. It's the November class. This week, we didn't do the October class. We didn't get enough folks to sign up to do it, so we canceled it. No problem, no problem. But our November class is, I think it's either full or it's just about full. So if there is interest in that and you really need to know about that and you really want to go to a class, by all means, put in a request. If we have enough people for another class, heck, we might as well just do another class. But as it is right now, we'll probably call it good at one here, and then we have one down in Trufant at the De Klerk Homestead. And then we'll be moving on in the wintertime to the beef processing and then the charcuterie class. So, if that's where it lands, that's fine. We did two here at the farm last year, and we did one down in Texas. So I kind of get it. I kind of understand what's going on with the price of everything going up. I think people are a little gun shy, because they're wondering, well, how high is fuel going to go? How high is food at the store going to go? I don't see it, but I did get a message from. Oh, I got a letter today in the mail from Kyle Miron, and he told me that the price of food at the store is outrageous. He's down in Indiana right now. Excuse me. So tonight's show is brought to you by the Anyone Can Farm Homestead Hog Harvests. And just if you don't know, my new peeps coming in, that is a hog processing class that we do here at Baker's Green Acres. This is going to be our 12th year. Would that be about right? Yeah, 12th year. Um, we start with live pigs. It starts on a Friday afternoon. We do the slaughter right here with our class. It's a hands-on. I do the shooting and I stick the first one. Then we lift it out of the pen. We bring it over to the scalding tank, dunk it in, scald it. The class members all get in there and start scraping the hair off the pig, and then we do the first evisceration, which is kind of neat. Um, then we split the animal, and then we go on to the next animals. We do two. This year, there is the possibility we might do three. We might, just because We're only doing one class here at Baker's Green Acres, and we have a group of people that are coming that want to purchase one of the pigs. So we might just do 3. We haven't really quite decided, and they haven't committed yet. So we might have a slightly bigger class than we usually do, which will be okay. It'll be fine. We'll work around it. This year will be a little different in that we have another facility to work in. I don't know if I've told you guys about this too much about it, but our maintenance shop, which used to be a calf feeding area, which was refitted into a chicken area, which was refitted into a pig area, and then we quit raising animals in the barn altogether. Now it is we poured a new floor in it, and it's a maintenance area. And then we've decided after this summer we had a class in there, but it was pretty much open air. It's covered, but the walls on the south side were open. Well, we've closed them in, and now we put windows in. I had scrounged up some windows years ago that were the sliding glass windows, and they actually looked pretty nice. They didn't fit in, the long way up and down, but we put them on their side, and it doesn't sound quite right, but we put them up in there, and it looked okay. And then we framed one of them in, and it looked, hey, that looks good. And then we finished that one, and then we put 3 more, and they actually look like somebody thought it up and made the decision to do it instead of like, well, it fits, so let's just. And that's the way a lot of things go. If I'd purchased the windows for that, it would have been, I don't know, it'd been probably better part of $2,000 to buy those windows. And I'm glad I didn't have to. Scrounging is the name of the game. Sean Wise, $6.80 for a gallon of red cap milk at the Easy Mart down the road from me. $6.80. Wow. I remember milk being like 99 cents. Angus says, I was at the market last Saturday and many witnessed 10 straight lines being sprayed. I was at the market last Saturday and many witnessed 10 straight lines being sprayed. Oh, is she talking about chemtrails? Yeah. Chemtrails. That's a conspiracy theory. You know that, don't you? Let's see. Oh, I've missed a lot of stuff, you guys. Off Grid with Dave and Sonia's here. Right on. Oh, man. I got to talk to you guys. Do I have a good idea? The words that make people's knees weak around here. I've got a good idea. Sean Wise is here. Belva's here. Inga Brummans. Blistic. Does anyone see the odd bright star in the east right now? Can somebody go out and take a look at that? He's in the thumb. In the east. Blistic is talking about the thumb. All right, Michigan is shaped like a mitten. And so if you live up here, you live in the thumb. Right? And that Inga's saying no. They sprayed so much today that by night the entire sky looked foggy again. Huh. Isn't that something? Inga, for those of you that may not know, Inga lives hour and a half from me, west and south. And I didn't see any spraying today. I saw no chemtrails. Maybe I did, but they were way south, and I don't know. Huh. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't do that. But you do know the reason they do that is to combat global warming. And if you criticize that, you're a racist. So get over it. I was at the okay, 10 straight lines being sprayed. Hey, Keith Sutton, where the heck you been, brother? And Debbie Van Fossen's here. Right on. How you doing, Debbie? Hope your attitude is still good about the state of affairs. I don't know. I don't know uh, how I feel some days. Always optimistic. Always optimistic, and it's an optimism that just comes from deep down inside. This weird movie that we're watching just seems like a weird movie, and I guess maybe I turn it off sometimes. Um, I had a guy stop and pick up chickens today. We butchered his chickens, and I had met him this summer at Seed Saving Day, and then they brought their chickens yesterday. And I was like, "You look familiar to me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I met you at Seed Saving Day." And I was like, "I probably met 30 people that day, or no, it was Tribe Day, so there was 100 adults here." And I was like, "You look familiar, but I don't remember our conversation." And then on and on it went. And then he's like, "I just got here from Hawaii." And I said, "Oh yeah, now I remember." But yesterday he had come here with his wife and four little kids piled out of his pickup truck while we were unloading. And his wife called me by name like she knew me. And I went in and I was like, she looked familiar, but I was like, "Do I know you?" And she said, "Well, it was a long time ago when your oldest son still lived home, but I was in a youth group and I met you one time." I said, "Well, okay." So anyway, this guy showed up and uh, he was really interested in homesteading, and I said, "Come on, let's drive around. I'll take you for a ride around in the Jeep. I'll show you what's going on." And I realized how important things like that are. It's really important. And if somebody's enthused about something, let's pour it on. Let's show them what we got. All right. So tonight is interview night, and we had some technical difficulties last week, and so this guest uh, was nice enough to agree to come back through a long way away, and very important individual. And I'm sure you will recognize this guy. We had to provide a lot of security for him to be here, but I'm just going to take a second and call him in. Let me put my hand over the microphone here. Mr. B, can you come in? Okay, so here he comes. Many of you may recognize this man. Here, get over a little closer to me. This would be my youngest son, and he agreed to do an interview, and I just thought it would be really interesting for you guys. He looks probably like my grandson now that I see you next to me. It's like, oh, I'm a lot older than you. But this is my youngest son, Frank. And so I'm going to give him a list of questions and just give you guys an idea how Frank fits into the program here and kind of what it's like to be a Baker kid. And maybe from this, we'll decide that, hey, we need to interview all the kids. And, because I think kind of interesting. But without further ado, what is your full name, please?
Francis Benjamin Baker is my full name.
So your middle name is Ben, huh?
Yep.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 11.
11 years old. Okay. And how long have you been working for Acres Green Acres?
Well,
That's when you started working?
mm-hmm.
All right. Let me brief you guys too. If you have any questions for Frank, put them in the question in the chat, and we'll see if we can we can get Frank to answer those questions. He's a very busy man, though, so I can't keep him too long, right? So, Frank, I'm sure you'll want to know what is your main job here at Baker's Green Acres?
Probably butchering chickens is
That's
my
your main job?
job.
Is that like you do that on a daily basis?
Well, no, my main job is actually probably rabbits.
Rabbits. Okay, so with your rabbits, you have to take care of them like every day.
Yeah.
Okay, like 7 days a week.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't just not take care of them one day, or
Yep.
they need to eat every day. Okay,
Mhm.
so tell us about your rabbit operation then. Like it is kind of your baby, right?
If Frank can get a little closer to that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's having trouble picking up his voice.
So I have one buck and two does and three baby bunnies, and I butcher all of my feeders myself, and I sell them for $4.50 a pound.
Okay. Sounds like a nice little business.
Mhm.
Um, could you explain to the listening public what do you mean by those terms that you just used? Like you said, buck and doe and feeders. What?
All right.
Okay,
So
what's that all about?
buck is like the male rabbit. It's just the male rabbit, I guess.
That's the
And then-
terminology.
Yeah. And the doe she's the female, and she's what makes all the feeders, which they're just feeders, I guess. You just eat them.
Feeders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're just like rabbits that you just feed them until they get
Yeah.
like how big?
Like, I usually do mine around 4 pounds, thereabouts.
Okay, and then people buy those, huh?
Yep.
Wow. So that's a nice little business for you. Being in business for yourself at 11, um, what are some of the things that you learned? Well, like a lot of our there wannabe homesteaders, what are some of the things that you learn that you think are important as business goes? And that's a tough question.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons?
I think I learned to save it and use it wisely.
Okay. You sure know how to spend it, don't you?
Yeah.
What is the things that you like to buy?
Well, tomorrow we're going to look at a new motorcycle, so.
Okay. All right. So you're the rabbit guy. Is there a possibility that could expand, to more than just what you have?
Possibly. I think I want to keep it a little smaller, but I think I could get like maybe another doe and so I could have more feeders.
Okay. And you butcher them all yourself. So when did you learn, or where did you learn how to butcher a rabbit?
Well, where I learned is actually you were filming a video on how to butcher a rabbit, and I just was listening in, so I learned that.
All right. So me, huh?
Uh-huh.
You learned it from me. All right. And usually when we get rabbits coming in, it's just you by yourself doing them pretty much. I let you handle it, and you've gotten pretty good at it. Um, you taught a class on rabbits at the Tribe Day.
Yep.
Now, I wasn't able to go to that because I had other responsibilities on Tribe Day, so I couldn't really go to your class. Could you give us an idea how many people took your class?
Probably around 20 to 25 people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, quite a few.
So, I mean, how do you do in front like that? Did your eyes kind of wear up a little bit, or?
Not really that. I was just kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when you get nervous?
I kind of stutter and I don't know, might
Okay.
not say the right thing.
Yeah. But I mean, people came to me afterwards and said that they thought it was a really good class. I mean, I was proud of what they told me that you did, and I thought that that's good. It's a good thing to know how to do, how to get in front of a crowd and teach something, and to have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Were there any problems?
When I tried to showcase the second skinning technique,
Yeah.
I didn't really think ahead and set up a gambrel.
Yeah.
So I had to have Dion Stumpo. He held the rabbit up for me.
Big Dion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have a couple hooligans in the crowd?
Yeah, a couple hooligans.
Couple hooligans. So how did you deal with that?
I told them that they would have, I don't remember, they would have to be quiet, and I gave them all the rabbit hides to keep them quiet.
That's a good one. All right, let me look and see what we got for questions here. Because I got a bunch more questions. Ooh. Debbie Van Fossen says, harvested my meat birds. Everything I want to do is illegal. Winning. Illegal. Keith, been working on the farm here trying to beat the snow. Snow. Off grid with Dave and Sonia. The bright star in the east is Jupiter. Is it heading towards Earth? Ben Carlson says hello. Inga. Hi, Frank. Ben. Hi, Frank. How are you, buddy? Glad I could make time to watch this. My 4-year-old helps raise and butcher our rabbits. Chicken and Ted kids do, in fact, rock. Yes, that's Donnie Mono. Donnie! I guess you later, but did you get a hold of our friend Owen yet? Hope my sons grow up to be like you, Frank. Cool. That's Vindicti says that. Frank taught the class like a pro. We didn't hear any stuttering. Off grid saying that. That's Dave and Sonia. Remember them? Mm-hmm. All right, so you're 11 years old. How, what does it look like? What's the future look like for you? Like, how long do you think that you will be employed here?
So I want to work here till I'm 18, and then I want to go off and maybe go into the military or something, but then I want to eventually come back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good plan. Mm-hmm. This military thing, what's that all about? Why do you want to go to the military?
Because you went in the military, and I think it's really cool, and I want to do it too. Yeah,
you want to jump out of planes?
Mm-hmm.
Good planes, perfectly good airplanes. You can jump out of them?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a plan. That is a plan. That's something to shoot for. What else do you do here on a basis that it would be of interest to the viewing public here? What's
so
your other duties?
Every Tuesday and Wednesday, I milk the cows, okay. And Thursday and Friday, we usually butcher chickens, and then sometimes I have to take care of the chicken for Rachel if she's gone at work or something.
So what you're referring to is the chickens that are in the chicken tractors, yeah. The field birds. Okay, mm-hmm. You have to help out with Rachel, and she's helped you out too, hasn't yeah. she? Like when we went on our trip, she milked for like 5 days straight, didn't mm-hmm. she? Okay. So you've been milking since what? You were 10, right?
I think I was 8 when we first started milking Scarlet, and then I stopped for a little while.
Yeah. 8,
Maybe I was 9.
maybe 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those cows are pretty big,
Mhm.
and you're not exactly small anymore. But back then you were. It was a challenge for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they were big,
Mhm.
and CC's really big. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So lately here, this might be of interest to the listening audience, but lately you've had another challenge out on the field with the cows. Now, can you explain that to us?
Yeah. So we we're kind of sharing a bowl with a friend, and he is at our house right now, and he's pretty intimidating. And uh, our cow Ruby, she's a Jersey, and she always likes to go hide behind Endeavor. That's our bull, and he's just too intimidating for me.
Has he ever done anything to you?
He's looked at me funny.
Yeah.
That's about all.
Yeah. So we have a young Guernsey bull. He doesn't belong to me. He belongs to Joe, doesn't he? Where did he come from? Oh yeah, he's Joe's. Joe's. You know, I guess you forget after a while who actually belongs to what. But he's the Homestead herdsman, Joe Higgins. He's a bull that Joe brought for me. And then when Joe got, he says, I think I like him. I think I want to keep him. So he just stays here. He doesn't belong to me, but he impregnated one of my cows, I think, or no, 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them: Scarlet, CC, and Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And so he's out there in the general population. He's really young, and when they're young like that, I mean, he's like less than 2 years old. He's sort of like a big puppy dog. He doesn't really like he'd never try anything with me, but all cows have a thing for really small people. All of them do, and they'll push them around if they can. So it's better that Frank is wary of or leery of. I mix those words of Endeavor. It's probably a good thing, but he's a good boy. What's she saying? Mia and Emily say hi to their buddy Frank. You remember Mia?
Yeah.
Mia and Frank went walk the river and they got lost in the woods together. Lost in woods, right? And they wound up stumbling out on some county road and they didn't know where Crunchy Mama's farm was from where they were. But luckily, Mia had her mom's phone number memorized. So it was lucky for a while, and who knows? They got torn apart by feral pigs that was out in Texas. But luckily, by the time we found out about it, like some strange guy was dropping these 2 little kids off back at Sean's place, and then we heard the story. And I don't know, did Sean know that you guys were missing? I don't think
I
we
don't
knew you
think
were missing
so.
until you got back.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question here from Off Grid with Dave and Sonia. And it's do you raise bunnies in the winter?
So I keep my breeding stock in the winter, but I have never bred any rabbits in the winter. No.
Okay. We could though, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm going to this year though.
Yeah, I think so too. Because from the reading that I've done, if you overwinter your breeding stock and they just get fat, and then the does don't really want to have, they don't want to What's it called when they have babies?
Kindle.
Kindle. They don't want to kindle in the spring. So yeah, we'll probably just keep them going. Um, let's see. So you milk, um, and what was I going to ask you? Can you kind of go through for the listening audience what's it like milking? How does that procedure work? What's the first thing that you have to do, and walk them right through it if you could.
Yeah. So the first thing I do is I always put the milking machine together, and then I get the hot water and the wash bucket and the soap and the uh, rags and stuff, and I take it up to the barn and hook all of it up, and then I don't turn it on till I get the cows up. And walking the cows up isn't too hard, except endeavor. And then once you got them up, you just put grain in the stanchion, and then they just come right in because they're kind of trained to they love grain.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then you wash off their teats, and then or at least I, dry them, and then I put the milker on. And with our new cow, Dawn, she takes a little bit. She takes a while. But with Ruby, she's pretty fast. And then you bring it back down to the shop, and you put it all in jugs or jars, depending on what Mom wants to make for butter. And then you wash all the milking equipment, and I think that's about it.
Okay. Do you like milk? Do you like to drink it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you do.
Yeah.
About how much do you drink a day?
About a cup.
Just that. That's just one cup?
Mhm.
Huh. I drink at least that. I love it. Got a question here, and this is from Donnie Mono. Have you ever heard of the book called Beyond the Pellet? I'm going to have to say no. I haven't heard. But I feed my rabbits for next to nothing after reading that book, and I try to help anyone who's interested in learning about it. Whoa, that's huge. If you don't mind, go on over to the Anyone Can Farm tribe over on Facebook, if you don't mind, Donnie, and apply for membership, and we'll do a thorough vetting of you, and then we'll let you in. And if you don't mind sharing that over there, that could be very helpful to a lot of people, because I know we have a lot of people in the tribe that do raise rabbits. I'm a big believer in rabbits. I really am. And I've not read that book, but you don't use social media. One of them. Okay, but maybe we can get that book. Maybe we can do that. That's too bad. I'd like to. I'd like to hear more about that. But I did a series of videos about rabbits where we fed them various things, and we didn't find too many things that they wouldn't eat, did we?
I don't think so.
No. And so, what are you feeding them now?
So now that it's kind of the almost to the end of fall and everything's frosting over, Mom lets me take her Brussels sprout plants, and so I give each pen about one Brussels sprout plant a day, and then just a little cup of rabbit pellets.
They're tearing it up too.
Hmm. They love the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, I do too. But we didn't get much growth on them for some reason this year. I don't know why. Are you feeding them radishes too?
No.
You might want to try that.
Yeah. I bet
Like the tops, I'm sure they'd love the
Oh,
tops.
they love them.
There's uh, some of the ones around the outside. The bulbs on it are like Mondo. They're really growing. Okay, we got something else here from Sean Wise. Hey Frank, what's your favorite thing to eat that you guys raise on the farm?
Um, I like what's it called? When we freshly butcher beef, like the tenderloins. My brother Joe, he can really get them really cooked up nice, and they taste really good. I think that's my favorite thing to eat.
Just really fresh beef.
Hmm.
So we butcher a lot of things here on the farm. What uh, what have you been involved with in butchering? If you could tell us, and
Um,
then that will give people a chance to ask you some additional questions. I think so.
yeah. So I
From
think I've been involved in a lot. Chickens, rabbits, ducks, turkeys, cows, calves, sheep, um, pigs, guineas.
guineas, huh?
Yeah, and deer.
Okay. Okay. So maybe people have some questions on that. Ooh, there you go. Keith Sutton. I have 13 baby kit rabbits.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things that we do is or we're thinking we're going to do it because we have more pen space than we have. Don't we?
Yeah.
We could do some feeders. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we're open for rabbit eye and feed out, because we do have the wherewithal to feed them. Uh, Donnie's got another one. Do you ever feed willow leaves to rabbits? Easy and fast to grow, hard to kill, massive edible biomass. We never have.
No, I don't think so. I've never fed them that.
No. Willow is one of those trees that you can uh, coppice or coppice, however people choose to pronounce it. But coppicing is where you cut them off fairly level to the ground, and they'll sucker, and it forces the roots to really go deep and wide, and they sucker very very fast, and you can actually clip them off. And but see, that's a great idea, and I bet you they would eat more than just the leaves. If they did eat the leaves, then the growth, the first growth there of the branch, those branches could be ground up or chipped up, and then they could be used to make tea out of. And there's a lot of hormones, growth hormones in that. Or they could just be put in hog feed. They could be made. You could make hog feed out of it. So that's something to look at. Donnie Mono, we had Craig Schaff here, and he did a soils workshop. And one of the things that he kind of went into was in the America with no fertilizer, we have to start looking for the alternative to it, which probably shouldn't be the alternative. It probably should be the primary. Like instead of buying fertilizer that's actually going to work against our soil microbes, we should be looking at you know alternatives or a better way. All right, Keith is saying I butchered 8 rabbits this week and 10 chickens. Right on, man. Right on. They'll eat the branches. It seems to it seems to be their favorite feed. They run past pellets for the willow. You know what? We could go looking for that stuff.
Yeah, I think we have willow trees down in the back.
We do. Those are willows that grow around the pond
Hmm.
that kind of look like bulrushes. It's some kind of willow, I'm sure, and they grow fast. Huh? We'll have to do that. Hey, Brian Jacobs is here. Hey, I got some questions for you, brother. Have you stayed on the Carno diet, or did you kind of drop off too? Not that I've seen any pictures of you, my brother. I dropped off. I like eating other stuff too much, but I went way out to the wrong side of things, and I was eating popsicles and bread and Big Macs and all that stuff, and I nearly went insane. So I'm back on the Carno, and I think I'm staying this time. No, I don't want to go back to where I was. All right, Farm Kids rock. You guys are rocking it. I wonder when we're going to see you in cash again. 89%. That doesn't sound like 100%. It's probably like other things. When you fall off the wagon, yeah, there you go. Tell the truth. You start lying. Start lying. I'm back on the beef wagon, and I'm staying. I'm staying. Um, Once you're not carnivore and you see a nice piece of bread, why not? Or some French fries, or why not? I had fish and chips for dinner. What was it, Saturday night?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday night. And no, I was waking up every morning with a headache, like a hangover, brain fog. I just couldn't keep my thoughts as straight as I can now. I mean, I know we were interviewing Frank, but Frank's actually carnal now too, because he's doing a cleanse. And today, I got to tell you guys this, because this was just phenomenal. We were butchering chickens today, and it was like one brilliant thought after another.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my family, a lot of times, if I make the statement, I have an idea, you see people kind of running for cover, right? But these were good ideas. And one of them was like, I'm getting chills right now thinking about this idea. It's just, I am getting chills. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't even share it with them because I don't want to scare anybody with this idea. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, Haven's with us. Brian says maple syrup season screwed me up, but yeah, it really needs to be all in. I wonder if we can be all in on beef starting like now, and then when the spring crops come in, uh, maybe we need those. Like they come in out of our garden, maybe we need to eat some of those. But I just went hog wild, and I was eating bread and Oreos and stuff that's just not really food. The other day I ate a handful of gummy bears. Right? What's the story with that? That used to not bother me, but this time I was not doing well. You ever see that people there'll be a picture of a guy, like a famous guy, like a Joel Salatin character, and he'll be looking off into some, and having a really good thought, of course, some really profound thought. And then there'll be a little quote right down here, right? Well, there needs to be one of me like this and saying, I'm two pizzas away from insanity. Because I not only started to get puffy and hurt, like my joints would hurt, my ears would ring, my eyes were watery, and I wake up with a headache in the morning. Didn't sleep good. Started snoring again. Not only that, the physical things, but my mind. My mind was not. It wasn't right. It wasn't based in reality, right? And so here's what I did, and this is something people need to think about when you're facing something, whether let's say it's a health thing or a a mental challenge, like you can't stop thinking about something. Uh, you have a problem on the homestead that you can't solve, or you don't have the solution yet, or something that you need to overcome. Before you go to sleep at night, think about that and say, okay, I need a solution to this. So the other night I'm going to sleep and I was just like a crazy person. I was just like, okay, we need to work on this. No, we need to work on this. No, we need to work on this. And people are starting to like hide from me and things. And I'm thinking to myself, I need to get this under control. I need to, like, what's the solution here? I woke up in the morning and it was like my diet. I came out and I said to Jill, I'm going back on carnivore. And she said, Amen. What do you want for breakfast? I'll make you a steak. Just stop eating bread and Oreos and gummy bears. She didn't really know either. She knew I wasn't really myself, but I don't think she really knew why. Um, but as soon as I said it, she said, You're right. That's what it is. So I went carno. Let's see. What day was it? That would have been Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I haven't really eaten anything but beef. I eat a little bit of kimchi because I think eating bread, it kills off your gut bacteria. And so I need to rebuild that. So I ate a little bit of kimchi with my beef. And I've been eating just steaks and burgers and um, stew meat. And I feel like 100% better. 100% better. I mean, sleeping good, all that stuff. And Frank said he's going to do it too. So have you seen any kind of changes in your thing?
Well, my head feels a lot clearer, and I feel like I can think a lot better, I guess.
Hmm.
And it just makes me feel better.
Have you been taking any placebo?
What's that?
What placebo is if you are doing a study. Let's say you're going to do an experiment, and you have two people, and you're going to give them something to see if they get better, right? You could give one guy the real thing, and the other guy just like a sugar pill, and the other guy that's getting the sugar pill, that would be the placebo. And because he believes he's going to get better, he gets better. That's the placebo effect. But a sugar pill is the placebo. It's not the real drug.
Yeah.
But I was just kidding you by asking you if you took any placebo. Because I mean, if you feel like you're going to improve, you will improve. If you feel like you're going to get sicker, you will. You could. You probably will. So it's a lot of it's mental.
Mm-hmm.
I could get thrown off the internet for calling you a retard. I didn't though. I said mental. Huh. Okay, let's see. We had something on there from Donnie Mono. We grew our garden with no store-bought inputs this year except a gallon of fish emulsion. The garden suffered a bit for it, but it inspired me to work hard to build the soil. Any thoughts or advice? I sure do. The soils workshop that Craig Schaff, this guy Craig Schaff, he lives in our neighborhood. He's like maybe 45 minutes away from us. He lives in Kelowna. And he's just, I don't know anybody else like him in the whole world. And I know a lot of people. I don't know anybody else like him. He's just got his very own thing that he does. Um, him and his wife they dress like plains people. They call them plain people, the plain community. But he's not a Amish or any of that stuff. and then they live an extremely simple life. But what it does for him is it enables him to take in a great amount of information from the environment around him in ways that I've never seen anybody absorb, right? He just learns a lot of things. And then he reads a lot and he researches a lot and things like that. And he's got a really good teaching skill. So he gets stuff across to people very well. So we had him for a soils workshop this summer, and the whole thing was recorded. It's going to be available on Tribe Plus. It's not there yet. It's being edited down, and then they're going to post it there. But to get on Tribe Plus, you got to go theanyonecanfarmexperience.com and then sign up for Tribe Plus. And Donnie, I think I talked about this the other night. It's a paid membership, but you're investing in yourself and you're investing in us to bring more of that type of content to you. But in that presentation that Schaff gave, he talked about the branches of fast growing trees that they have growth hormones in them. And it was, you could take them sort of like those willows. You could strip the leaves off, feed those to your rabbits, clip them off, cut them up into small pieces, put it in a bucket, and leach out the growth hormones. Put that in a spray bottle, and then apply that foliarly, like you just spray it to the foliage. And you can put nutrient or growth hormones right into your soil through the foliage. And Craig explained that really, really well. And I thought, I got to do that. Haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. So that would be my best advice, because that's the best thing that I've heard. Okay, Jill's saying the same thing. And she's saying it will be posted to Tribe Plus, hopefully in December. But there's still a ton of information there. It would take you a while to get caught up on the info that's there on Tribe Plus. And we're adding more and more and more. You've got some stuff on there, don't you?
I think so.
I thought we did rabbit butchering. That's you, or was it me?
I don't know if we did a new video on it. I don't think we did.
All right. Well, there's another reason to join Tribe Plus. We're really having a membership drive right now. Excuse me. And while I'm on that rant, we need to drive people to that. And I thought about something today about getting you to the people that are in the tribe to convert over to Plus members. You don't want to shame people into it, but if you're a good American, you will do it. I just put it that way, because we will all do better. I'm being kind of tongue in cheek, but not really. We've all let our food production slide over to somebody else. We've let other people do it for us. So we go in the store, we buy macaroni and cheese. Like, what's in it? I don't know. It tastes good. We just eat it, right? And then we start to get duller. And then, hey, what's in your food? I don't care what's in my food. I just want to eat my food. Like Frank's saying, when you don't eat real food, you do get a little cloudy and health declines. And when health declines, a lot of times you become a victim to, some of the companies that run, those health management operations, whether it's pharmaceuticals or whatever, and I don't want to put them all in the same category. There are definitely some good pharmaceuticals. There are definitely, a lot of good doctors, but the complex overall is driven by profit and not necessarily getting people healthy and keeping them healthy. Like, there's more money in sick people than there is in in well people, which maybe that's not true. Um, like in an organization like ours, eventually, like we have employees now, and I don't hire people who are not well, right? Because people who are cloudy and brain fog and all that stuff, they make mistakes. Mistakes cost money. Yeah, no, you don't. You don't have to use Facebook to join up there, Donnie. Not at all. It's strictly via the site the anyone can farm experience.com. Just go there for starters. There's a bunch of free stuff there too. It'll keep you thrilled for a while. You don't have to use Facebook, but you don't want to hire people who aren't well. So if you hire people who are on it and sharp, you're going to get more from them than, say $20 an hour. You're going to get way more because they just overflowing with ideas and talent and creativity and um, so many other things. I mean, I just like being with people. They don't have to be anything. Like, I mean, it's nice to be with people who are strong or people who are smart or who are, extremely good looking or extremely, but they don't necessarily have to be that way. People who are not particularly smart are fun to be with too. So it's like I don't want to say that this is the way to be. I'm not saying that. I know people who uh, are extremely intelligent in certain areas, but then their uh, their creativity is not quite developed yet. But that doesn't mean they won't. I better stop. I better stop. Okay. Donnie says, I'll join your deal if we don't have to use Facebook. You don't. I have plenty of time to dive deep when the weather turns. Seems like you're doing what we're doing for the same reasons. I can appreciate that. Yeah. Uh, I've been interviewed a few times, so you can see my interviews. Why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's a lot of different facets of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so I guess I'm going to cut you loose. You've been here for an hour, and I said that we would only keep you for an hour. Is there anything that you'd like to, in probably 30 seconds or less, pass on to the viewing public of why you think your life and your existence here on Baker's Green Acres is like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it what? What do you think of it? I'll give you. See, I'm giving him a lot of latitude here to get me in a lot of trouble you know, if he wanted to. Take your best shot, son. Take your best shot.
So I like it a lot. It's nice to be around like animals and not have to go to the store to get another gallon of milk. That's really nice. And I like my family, and it's really fun being here. And I just love it here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming and doing an interview.
Mm-hmm.
I think people like Frank. Um, if this goes over well, maybe we will try doing an interview with the next youngest, and that would be Jim, and then we'll move up to Rachel. Rachel's a good interview. Jim would be a good interview too, I think.
Yeah.
He'd have an interesting perspective on things. But all right, we interview all kinds of folks, and you know, we're kind of a symphony here. All right, well, thanks. I'm gonna cut you loose, and I'm gonna talk to these folks for a couple minutes,
All right.
and I will see you on the other side. Take it easy.
Yep.
Thanks. Hey. All right, so Frank's a very easy child to be around. Very helpful. very sensitive, very kind. One of my favorites. So I guess that's just a testimony right there to, I think, a lot of things. I don't think it's just, oh, if you raise your kid on a homestead, your kid's just going to be A-OK. I not necessarily. I think uh, the homestead grounds the parents in reality. And so much of our world these days doesn't seem to be reality based at all. Um, and I guess that's going to have to be okay with us. You know, I don't want to say, well, gee, those people in, say, like Hollywood, that needs to be shut down right now. You know, I'm not like that. I don't think that that's true because they produce a product, and if people want that product, then get that product. You know, but if people want to be grounded in reality, I think that the homestead is a good way to do that because you know I kidded around the other night. I was trying to be a some sort of lefty, and I was um, global warming and all that stuff, and you know I think it's horse manure. Because just in my lifetime, I remember on 60 Minutes when we were looking at another ice age, you know, and I remember my dad saying, it's a bunch of baloney. And now that I'm this age, I lived through global warming. I was kidding around by calling it global warming because it's not global warming anymore. Now and it's even best from there. It's I don't know. It's just this narrative that comes out of wherever, and we can see through it. It's just stupid, and we don't have to spend a bunch of time on it other than to say that's it, and we just move on to reality-based things. Like we got a lot done today, and like I rely on Frank. I rely on him. Frank is one of gutters. He's one of the chicken gutters. And him, the line slows down really quickly. So for those of you that don't know, we operate a chicken processing business, and it used to just be Friday, but this year it's been Thursday and Friday, which encourages me because people are up and they're raising some of their own food. Yeah, they don't want to butcher, but we don't see the people who do butcher their own. Haven does. He butchers his own. Like Keith Sutton, he's butchering his own. Why I know that because Keith came and worked with us for a while. Now he's doing on his place. Same thing with. I don't think Haven. I don't know if you ever came and butchered chickens with us. I'm not sure. I know your brother did, and his wife. I'm pretty sure. Wow, what a burr, you know. All right. Don Mono says young Frank is welcome to my daughter in a decade or so. Okay, we're in there, Donnie, and we're going to need to see some photographs, and also we're big on the dowry thing around here, especially with Frank. I'm going to need about 4 kids, I think, and yeah, we should do that. You know, we're kind of retro in a lot of ways. Like we get really geeked about like shovels and hand tools, and this is like butchering and growing things and building fences and building buildings and although we're getting Mono says, all right. Haven says, I think Frank should have his own show. You're right. You're right. And we'll call it Frankly Bakers. Right. I like that, Inga. That's cool. A little bit more about Tribe Plus. I know I'm harping on this, but a lot of things have, when I think to myself before I go to sleep at night, how am I going to grow this? How am I going to convert the 1,700 or so people that are in the tribe over to Tribe Plus members? How am I going to do that? And in the morning, I have ideas about this would work, this would work, this would work. And if there is content on Tribe Plus that is, let's say Inga watches this, let's say it's helpful to her and she sees value in it, then she is going to recommend that to her friends, right? But only if the content that's there is of value only, you know. If it's of no value, it's be like, nah, I don't even think I'm gonna sign up for this again. Never mind, recommend my friends sign up for it. So truly, the solution to getting a lot of people signed up into the Tribe Plus, I need that to happen so I can finance, you know, a full time producer of content, my son. But right now, he's working pretty darn cheap, and but he sees, like I do, and like a lot of people in the homesteading community do, like Haven did. I mean, I know he sees this. There is a huge wave about to crash on the beach here, and that is because people have seen through the last couple of years, well, we can't really rely on this organization here. We can't rely on this organization. We can't rely on this. Why? Because they went along with the scam. And they've continually gone along with the scam. And they continue to go along with the scam. And I don't care whether it is stores, I don't care if it is hospitals, doctors' offices, churches. That was really a shock to me to see some of the churches go along with, whatever is coming out of the pie hole of the governor in this state. That was sickening to me. And on it goes. And it's not just this latest scam with whatever. You can't say it even. But it was as big tech went along with it, which is why I have two strikes for talking about that very thing. So I can't talk about that thing anymore. But any of those things, we have to say, okay, let's pull away from that. Let's not invest in that totally. And as soon as I'm looking at you guys here. I'm looking at Haven to Zoo right now. As soon as you invest in yourself a little bit, then you say, hey, that felt good. And then you invest some more in yourself. And that investment turns into a payout. And I can say this because I drive past Haven to Zoo's operation all the time. For you, those of you that don't know, Haven works for his dad's farm. It's a big, one of the bigger dairies in the county. And that's his day job, and his side hustle is sustainable agriculture, what we do. And so he has got himself smart on a couple of things and then gone and implemented it, right? And I know this because I drive past the piece of property that Haven is using to do this. He's got 4 chicken tractors out there. He's got an egg mobile out there. And a lot of people have noticed that and say, hey, do you know this guy? Right? Because they see what I do here. And I don't think we've butchered one chicken for Haven. He's just said, I need to know how to do this. So, like his older brother came with his wife, and they butchered with us for a day, took that information back, and then they implemented it. They made it happen, which I'm proud. I'm proud to know people that do that. I'm proud of what they've done. Every time I drive past that, it feels really good to me because it's what I do, and these are bright younger men that have said, well, this is what I want to do too. So I get a charge out of that. Why shouldn't I? I'll take that. I'll take that. I'm not saying it has everything to do with me or even anything to do with me, but that's what I'm doing. And they have been instrumental in building this ministry with me. And then, when you hear the word ministry, a lot of times it's like, I'm kind of put off by that actually because churches have been so uh, underperforming. To me, their mission is quite clear, at least Christian churches. Their mission is quite clear, and I don't see it. I don't see them fulfilling much, actually. I just don't. We've got huge problems that can be attacked and people willing to do it, but it almost seems like the church is kind of standing in their way. But the hospitals have done the same thing, and the stores, and on and on and on it goes. And you know, we have to alleviate that problem. We have to do our own thing. Uh, I've said this before. I will say it again. We had the commander in chief uh, come out and say, "Hey, there's going to be food shortages," and it's been echoed down the line. Right? You can't go any place without hearing it. And if the prices of food at the store are 10% more, if that was the case, then I'd say, yeah, we have a problem. Is it the massive problem where you can't get a can of soup at the store? Not yet. But it's 10% less than where it was when we started in, let's say, 2020. And I don't even want to get into, well, if we can get President Trump back in there, everything. And I'm not going to bet on that horse, right? When I can bet on Haven Zoo or Luann Hoffman. Those are the horses that I'm going to bet on. And Keith Sutton, I'll bet on them. Who else? I don't know Donnie Mono yet, but I'm liking some of the things, and we may be related by marriage here before too long. Mr. J, we don't have Jay-Z with us tonight. Dave Smith, hi from Arizona. Don't tell me that you get stoned to listen to me. There's a kid in town here that it made it to me that he gets stoned and then he listens to my videos. I'm like, what? Haven says, hey, Frank, how do you like your boss at Baker's Green Acres? Do you guys get paid vacation? As a matter of fact, they do. These guys got it made, and Brian Jacobs too. There's no flies on that kid. My kids have it made because work with them and I learned the level of trust that I can have in them, right? And the level of trust is really high. Like Frank's 11 years old. Last year, he said, I kind of want to get my own deer rifle. And I said, well, and he shot a deer last year with, I think, Keith's gun. And Keith's gun is like a Model 700 Remington 308. It's not exactly a mule kicker or anything, but it's a man's gun. 308 is one of my favorite cartridges, really, for that. It's a good all around cartridge, I think, as far as I'm concerned. But he shot his first deer last year, and he said to me, "I want to get my own gun." And so all right. He had his own money, and we were at the store. Eagles has a really nice selection of guns over there, used and new. But sometimes people buy guns and then they don't suit them quite as well as they'd like, and then they want to sell them. And this one was pretty nice, and it had some accessories to it, and it was a Henry single shot break open rifle. It's a short rifle, so it was good for him. And here's an 11-year-old boy that I trust him enough to have 5 rounds in his pocket and walk out to a deer stand, sit there by himself, and make a decision on what he's going to shoot. I trust him enough. I do not worry that he's going to accidentally shoot himself. I really don't, because he's meticulous, attention to detail. Okay, I'm in place, open the gun, put a round in, close it up, but don't cock it. Okay, I've cocked the gun, but the deer that I was going to shoot has moved out of view. I'm going to decock the gun. And he will do that. And I'm sure he will do that. Now, I accidentally discharged the weapon twice in my life. And one time, it was a Winchester 30-30 that I cranked one into it, and then I went to decock it. So I went to drop the hammer with my thumb on it. I was pointed in a safe direction, and I lowered the hammer on my jacket. And when I pulled the gun away into a not so safe direction, about 4 feet away from my son's foot, boom, it went off. That was it. I unloaded the gun right there. I unloaded it. I was just like, I can't believe what I just did. I had never, in all my years of hunting and handling that particular rifle, a lever action rifle, 30-30 Winchester, I had never heard of that happening. And I'd certainly never even thought that would happen, but it did. So that was an accidental discharge, and that was not good. And the other time was, actually, I'm not even recalling the other time. I thought there was 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to hear a good one? I had a Ruger Blackhawk 357 single action pistol that I bought off a guy. It was a mess. The gun was a mess. It had just been abused. It was all caked up with lead on the inside of the barrel. It was in terrible, terrible shape. It even almost, we thought that it'd have to be rebarreled because they had shot lead rounds through it. And 357 was a little bit high velocity for shooting lead. And anyway, it was just in terrible shape. And I bought it, got a good deal on it. And the guy I bought it from said, hey, and it had been his dad's, and then he had it for a lot of years. But anyway, he said, hey, I read about it in American Rifleman magazine, that there had been a recall on that gun, that some people had there's three positions on the hammer. There's the first cock that if you have 6 rounds in it, that's how you carry it. And it's just click. You just barely pull it back, and so it keeps the hammer, it keeps the firing pin away from um, the primer on the round on the casing. And then the next position will be half cock, where you can wheel it, and then the next position is full cock, where you pull it to when you're going to boom shoot it. Um, and it said that it could, on some models, it could discharge on the first detent. And I was getting ready to go on vacation, so back then I used to clean my guns meticulously. I didn't have a farm back then. I used to clean my vehicle back then. That's before I had a farm. And anyway, I was watching TV and I cleaned my gun, and then I reloaded it, and I would put it back in its case, and then that was the gun that I kept close by, if I ever needed a gun. And as I'm watching TV, I thought about that for a second. I was holding the gun like this. I had the cylinder in my hand, so the barrel was pointing out the front, and I just barely touched that trigger on the first detent. Now, I should have had the gun unloaded and tried it then to see if it would accidentally discharge. And I don't even know why I did it. It was like I was watching TV. I was distracted. It never happened before. And this is after I'd owned the gun for 5 years. And whammo, it went off. Luckily, I was home alone at a house that I rented in, when I was working before I was in the service, actually. But there was a lot of spray from in between the barrel and the cylinder, and it sprayed all on my hand really badly. And it was just powder. And but it burned me, and my hand was just ringing, from the concussion of it. But the bullet went in a safe direction. I mean, if you think the floor of the house is a safe direction, but luckily it had a shag carpet, so you couldn't even see where it went in. But yeah, those were 2 times that I had an accidental discharge, and I don't plan on doing it the rest of my life. But with my kids, I can trust them because we work together so much. That's one of the upsides of working with your kids on the farmstead, like Frank. I can tell him, hey, jump on the tractor and go feed the pigs. And this, like, I explained to Rachel, like, when I ask him to do something like that, that machine is extremely powerful. Extremely. I mean, it's no joke. If he gets in a bad way with that machine, I mean, if he loses control of that machine, feeding the pigs could be 20 pigs are on the loose. It could turn out to be a real bad thing. And so I'll watch them a few times. And all of my kids have had accidents with the tractor. They've all had accidents. You're backing up and you don't realize how much of equipment you have out in front of you, like the loader, and you swing that thing and boom, you hit the house or you hit the barn or something. For a while, I was going around with Sharpie and I would write their name on it where they dented the barn or they dented the house. Keith is the one that hit the house. And, it happens. But luckily, nobody has been hurt with that machine. That's the biggie. That's the biggie. I mean, there's so much power there. If you lift it up, if you make the loader go the wrong way and somebody's there, you could, hurt them really badly. So that has not happened. So I've been very fortunate. Well, it's not just fortunate. It's not fortune because it's training. I can constantly train my kids about safety. These kids weld, they use cutting torches, guns constantly, knives all the time. I mean, they're using knives that are extremely sharp for butchering, saws and grinders and all kinds of stuff. Frank has, oh, they've all been driving since they were quite young. All right, so Frank, one time, he said to me, he was 5 years old, and he's like, "Can I drive?" And I was like, "Well, you probably could, but you can't reach the pedals of anything. So until you can reach the pedals, probably not. I would trust him to." Um, when it came to the Jeep, he could. He'd sit right at the front of the seat, and he could reach the clutch and the brake and stuff. And I taught him how to shift. And at 6 years old, he was driving that thing. And I could ask him, go ahead and jump in the Jeep and take it down here and pick this up and bring it back. And he'd do it. And I wouldn't put him with anybody else or anybody else's kids to do that, because the possibility is there that he could have a problem. So even the little Jeep, and it's not real powerful, but it's probably 30 horse, which is, it's not like one horse, and even one horse. But anyway, this one time we had a Toyota Corolla that somebody had given me, and I was letting my son use it, and then he outgrew it, and then my daughter was using it, and then she outgrew it. Anyway, it was just sitting around here. And we took a baby seat and put it in the driver's seat, and Frank could sit up there and he could actually reach everything. And this one was it was a automatic transmission. Yeah, it was an automatic. So he thought it was really great driving around in the Toyota. And then he wasn't having so much fun driving around on the farm anymore. And he says, "Hey, can I drive out on the road?" And I said, "Nah, you can, but I'm going to have to go with you." So I was with him. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and I'm kind of like, he drives really well, so it's not exactly fun for me. I'm kind of bored. We're just driving, and he's going down the road, and there's a bucket truck coming the other way, like a consumer's energy bucket truck coming the other way. And the guy leans out the window and he's trying to get Frank to stop because he wants to ask him a question. And so Frank's like this little kid driving, and Frank stops, rolls down the window, and the guy says, "Hey, do you know where so and so house is?" And Frank looks over at me, and I said, "Yeah, they're the next house down from us. It's like a quarter mile down the road, and or a half mile down the road." And Frank is like, he passes on the information. And I just thought what that guy must have thought. This little kid driving like that. Anyway, pretty neat. Anyway, good show. I appreciate everybody coming by. I appreciate all the questions. Let's see if I missed anything. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend, you guys. How do you like your boss? Frank likes me. We'll get Jim on. He'll have some things to say. Jim's not always. Okay. Young Frank is welcome. Okay, I read that already. Frank should have his own show. Yeah. Luann said, "Just sent you Janine on Rumble. Good stuff." Yeah, I might as well share that, huh, Luann, with these guys. Because, I mean, it's, 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 it's one of the people that we've kind of listened to, like on YouTube, everybody gets thrown off if they're telling you things that are useful or keep you optimistic. And there's this gal. She's Canadian. She's like my age. She's a little younger than me, and she's from Calgary. And her name is Janine. I can't think of her last name right now, but she's Canadian, French Canadian. And I don't know. Luann sent me a video of hers. I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, probably. And it's like she reads tarot cards, right? I don't know anything about tarot cards. I, as a Christian, was always told that they're evil, but I don't know. I just don't know. And when I listen to Janine, she's not evil, and she actually tells more truth than a lot of these Christian pastors tell. And I don't think they're evil. But anyway, I started liking to listen to Janine. Well, she got thrown off YouTube like post haste. She was gonzo. You can't even, if you're on YouTube, like if we had her on our show, we'd get thrown off YouTube. That's how much they hate her. And YouTube, certain areas, you just don't go, you know? Like it's not a free speech platform, but hey, that's where everybody is. Like I'm on YouTube right now. So you can go over to Rumble, and I'm also on Rumble, and you can find Janine over there. And she goes on with this guy, Jean Claude. And he's French Canadian, right? And I like him. He's really he's a smart guy. But he's kind of a mystic too. His channel is called Beyond Mystic with Jean Claude, and they have cool guests on and stuff. And you might think, why are you listening to that? And I just like, well, you have to be well read, you know. And but I have found that they seem to uh, kind of know what's going on. Seems like where if you listen to like X22 report, I kind of don't buy that anymore. I just don't. I don't know. Something in my gut says like we better look at some other people. So anyway, I like Janine. I'm gonna hang out with her someday. So that's who she is. So you can find it's called Tarot by Janine on Rumble. That's the only place you're gonna find her. Okay, and look what Luann's saying. Trump is commander in chief. Brandon is illegitimate. Exciting times coming. Okay. I'm not predicting anything because you know, I just don't know. But I do know the things that I'm in charge of. I do believe that pretty shortly here, Joe and I are going to put together a series that's going to be on Tribe Plus, and it's going to be how to build a custom chicken processing business. And you know why you want to listen to me about that? You know why? Because I know. And you know how come I know? Because you can come here on Thursdays and Fridays and you can see it happen. And like you could say to me, oh, so how much do you get per bird to butcher a bird? And I will tell you. Actually, it's common knowledge how much we get. $4.75 this year. And that's after going through my wife. My wife she is so fair to a fault. But we had to raise our prices. We had to because everything that we're using is more. And so I think that if we did a series of how to do this, I mean, it's something that for 49 cents a day, you can pull this down and you can listen to the whole commentary on it, use it as um, a guide map on how to build a chicken processing business. and then start to build your clientele. But the first chicken that you do, that 475 is real. That's real. That's not conjecture. That is not propaganda. That is real. Now, you may get it in US dollars. Now, are those real? I don't know. But anyway, Try Plus has got a lot of reality based stuff, like how to do this. How do you make maple syrup? I think we got a guy that we can go and film how he does it and put it up on Tribe Plus. We'll probably be staying in the new digs when we come down to see you, Brian. I don't mean, but we got ideas. We got a lot of ideas. Okay, Brian says farm kids have a crazy amount of self awareness, always around powerful, sharp stuff. We try to refrain from vulgarity on this channel. Apparently, you don't know that. Apparently. All right. It's Thursday night, man. It feels like Friday night, and that's probably because I got a butcher tomorrow. But we're going to have some time off this weekend. Going to do some fun things. I'm not sharing everything with you guys, but I am encountering things because of my optimism. Really cool stuff comes across my desk. And as soon as I take it for a test ride, I'll share it with you. Okay? Whitaker's Heritage Homestead, how you doing? Welcome. I welcome you, but I need to bring to your attention that you're late. Okay? Try to do better. Okay. I got to sign off. We're an hour and 36 minutes. I'm on one of those times where I am really enjoying being with you all. Okay, good, doing good, great. All right, please come on over to the Anyone Can Farm tribe on Facebook and visit the Anyone Can Farm experience.com. Yeah, we're just getting done. We started at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But I will see you guys Tuesday. I do put up just impromptu videos on Baker's Green Acres YouTube, or Baker's Green Acres YouTube, and also Baker's Green Acres Facebook. Occasionally something comes over me and I got to share it, and I just go for it, right? So I'll see you. I'm going to get going. Got to eat my steak tonight and get me some sleep. I'll see you. Sayonara.